Hey guys, MetalJesus here, and today I am back with a video talking about 5 Xbox Game Pass games that, well, I think you should probably be playing. Now, I've said it before, Game Pass is amazing. There are, frankly, so many games included with that, and so it's really easy to miss some of the more, smaller games that might go under the radar, maybe some older games that have been out for a while, and I wanted to do this video just to kind of highlight some of them that I think you should check out, including a new release called The Artful Escape. Now, this game just came out, so maybe you've heard about it, maybe you haven't, but it's a game that I definitely want to highlight because, well, honestly, it checks all of the boxes that I'm looking for in a game. This game is absolutely amazing. If I was to describe it, I would call it maybe one part Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy meets maybe the Beatles' Yellow Submarine, and then with a little bit of, say, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. So what's going on with this trippy game? Well, you play a young folk musician that lives in a small town, and he's kind of living under the shadow of his much more successful uncle, who was this really big folk singer. And the town is very proud of that fact, but unfortunately, the uncle has passed away, not sure what had happened to him, and they kind of really looking to you to sort of like continue on with his legacy. The problem is, though, is that you don't want to do that. That's not your passion. And through the course of this game, you go on this amazing intergalactic, multi-dimensional journey to basically just kind of discover what you're passionate about and what you're really meant to be. And as you can see by this gameplay footage, it is an absolute trip. I've never played a game that looks quite like this. It's mind-blowing just how cool this game is. And so you are just basically going through these different dimensions, these different planets, trying to kind of, like I said, discover who you are and kind of figure out, okay, he doesn't want to necessarily be a folk singer. He really is more passionate about rock, glam rock, metal, kind of whatever you really want your character to be. At a certain point in this game, you actually do get to design and build the backstory of your character, how he's going to present himself on stage. It's really cool. Now, from a gameplay standpoint, it's pretty basic. For the most part, you're really just kind of traversing a level, doing some basic platforming, nothing too challenging here. And then you play your guitar to try to awaken and kind of build your mystique up as a musician on these different planets with these different creatures. But the highlight and joy of this game is interacting with the different characters, which are all voice acted, and honestly, some of them are absolutely hilarious, hysterical. They're so funny, so memorable. That is the best part of this game by far. Now, this is not a long game. You can finish it in about 4 hours. There is an achievement to unlock if you play it multiple times, which you might want to do. I haven't done that yet, but I have finished it once. So it's not going to be necessarily for everybody, but it is so unique. I think if you are a fan of musicians and music, and you've ever had a dream of making it big on stage, it's a really cool experience. And if you have Game Pass, I think you should definitely give it a chance.
How did you do that? Where are my pajamas?
Does it adhere to your hideous humanoid arrangement?
I'm in love with it. Why are you giving this to me?
Next up is a bit of an older title that originally came out on the Xbox 360. I did not play this originally for some reason. I'm not sure why, but I decided to give it a go here on Game Pass. That, of course, is Joyride Turbo. As you can see by this gameplay footage, it is at its heart a kart racing game. What's cool is that you play as your Xbox avatar, and then you'll notice here that you are actually racing in kind of standard looking cars. They look like cars, and they kind of control more like cars than, say, karts. Just like in Mario Kart, you're picking up power-ups, you're doing battle with other racers. This is all pretty standard stuff, really. However, there are 2 ways in which it really stands out. One, I really like how it's pretty easy to pull off a stunt. Basically, you just push the analog stick in really any direction and you'll pull off something that looks pretty cool, giving you a boost when you land. And then two is the killer stunt tracks. So I gotta tell you, the stunt tracks are just a joy to play in. Really, no matter what direction you go in, there's always gonna be a massive jump to take, a twisty road to explore, or even like a hidden trophy to find in some nook and cranny. It's just really, really cool. So this game is definitely my cup of tea, and I'm kind of surprised I didn't discover it before now, but it's cool that it's on Game Pass, and if you like these kind of games, you should definitely check it out. Next up is Nuclear Throne, and I'm trying to remember where I originally played this game. It might have been on PC or it might have been on Switch. I don't remember, but it's been out for a while. It's on a bunch of different platforms, and as you can see here, it is a bullet hell roguelike shooter. And in this game, you have 12 different characters to choose from, but what I typically do is just select random at the start, which is kind of fun because you don't know what you're going to start with, or what kind of abilities or weapons that you'll have. Definitely part of the roguelike experience with this, but it doesn't matter because there are a lot of weapons to find throughout the level. And I know there are a lot of games like this, but what makes Nuclear Throne, I think, kind of feel fresh to me, or at least the reason why I keep coming back to it, is because it has a little bit more of a tactical feel to it. And that's primarily because a lot of these levels will be, well, you'll be battling out in kind of narrow corridors instead of just like wide open levels. You get those too. I mean, it basically does a bunch of variety here, but you'll know what I'm talking about here because there is some intense, close combat here and careful shooting. It's almost like a shootout, It's really cool. And so yes, there are a lot of these roguelike shooting games out there, but I do think that Nuclear Throne is a good one, and if you happen to have Game Pass, why not give it a try? Next up is a PSP classic that is Lumines Remastered. So this is an updated version of that PSP game that I played for months when the PSP was first launched. I absolutely love this game. I love this game then, and the remastered version is, well, it's even better. Now, this may look like your typical puzzle game, but it definitely has its own feel to it. Basically, what you always get falling down there is a block of 4 colors, and then what you want to do is match those with what lies below, and then try and time your combos to that bar that is constantly going from left to right. That bar basically will remove any blocks that match up in 4 colors. And so very quickly, you'll become familiar with the different types of patterns that fall. My favorite being the one that has 3 of the same colors. So what you do is you'll match those. You'll rotate it and match it so that it lands on a single color block below, creating the 4 that you need to match. Does that make sense? The other thing that's cool about this game is that all of your movements add musical elements to the particular song or level that you're on. So you are contributing to the overall musicality of the level. Again, it's pretty cool. And this version that you can play on Game Pass has full HD graphics as well as newly remastered kind of high-res versions of the songs that were originally, released in the PSP. And so really it is the ultimate version of this game. So again, like some of these other ones, if you haven't checked it out before, and you like musical puzzle games, you're not going to be disappointed with this. The next game I want to talk about is Touhou Luna Nights. So this is a Metroidvania style 2D platforming game that feels very similar to, say, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, especially in the way that your character moves throughout the level. What's neat about this game is a stop time and graze mechanic. Every time you attack an enemy, it will eat up some of your MP until it all runs out. So you need to basically manage that. Now, you can also temporarily stop or slow down time. What's cool about that is that you'll see the timer at the top of the screen every time you stop the time. And then when you move the character, it will advance the stopwatch. So you have to be almost, strategic in how you use that ability. You can't use it indefinitely. However, you can quickly build up your magic and also your health when time is stopped by basically getting really close to enemies and their attacks, essentially by grazing them. This is very similar to how you would play a lot of bullet hell style shooters. This is all explained during the open tutorial, probably better than I'm doing it right now, but as you can see, there's definitely a lot going on here. It's a really well-made, beautiful looking, incredibly deep game. And what's cool about it is it has a really big speedrunning fan base. So there are videos out there where people complete it in, say, 2 hours or less, especially if you know what you're doing. But us mere mortals like me, it'll probably take you maybe more around, 5 hours or so. So anyways, guys, that is 5 Xbox Game Pass games that you should probably be playing. And I guess I should probably mention that the vast majority of these are also available on the PC version of Game Pass. I think the only one that isn't is Joyride Turbo, because that is an Xbox 360 game. But I believe the others are. So if you have a PC and you have Game Pass, yeah, definitely check these out. But so many games are released on Game Pass every month, and I would love to know down in the comments if there is some that I am missing. Please let me know down below. And as always, guys, I want to thank you for watching my channel. Thank you for subscribing, and take care.